الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى الحمد لله منشئ الخلق من عدم ثم الصلاة على المختار في القدم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك على رسولك خير الخلق كلهم يا رب صل وسلم دائما أبدا على بشير النذير محمدا مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على طه سيد المرسلين بلغ سلامي روضة فيها النبي المحترم يا خير من دفنت بالقاع أعظمه فطاب من طيبهن القاع والأكم روح الفدا لقبر أنت ساكنه فيه العفاف وفيه الجود والكرم هو الحبيب الذي ترجى شفاعته لكل هول من الأهوال مقتحم يا رب بالمصطفى بلغ مقاصدنا واغفر لنا ما مضى يا واسع الكرم أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور صدق الله المولانا العظيم. Before we start our talk proper, as per the command of our Honorable Sheikh Arif Billah, the Rumi of our time, the Mujaddid of this era, the second Tabriz, Hazrat Molana Shah Hakim Muhammad Akhtar Sahib, Rahimahumullah Ta'ala, Hazrat used to say that before every bayan, make muzakra, discuss one sunnat of Hazrat Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And Hazrat has said many poems with regard to the importance, the benefits, the necessity of sunnah. One beautiful poem Hazrat said, which Allah in His mercy has made famous in the whole world. The poem is Naqsh Qadam Nabi ke Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam hai Jannat ke raaste. Allah Jalla Jalaluhu se milate hai sunnat ke raaste. Naqsh Qadam Nabi ke hai Jannat ke raaste. Allah se milate hai sunnat ke raaste. What does this mean? Anyone who follows in the footsteps, in the sunnats of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he will see, he will come out in Jannah. So how that we will practice on sunnats, it's our road to Jannah. Just like a person who travels from here on the board that shows Mombasa, he will come out in Mombasa. A person who travels on the board that shows Garissa, he will come out in Garissa, wherever. So a person in his life who follows sunnats, he will say, I've come out in Jannah. The other is the benefit of following sunnat. Allah se milate hai sunnat ke raaste. By following sunnats, a person will get connection with Allah Ta'ala. And once you have got Allah, you have got everything. Ek tu mera to har shay meri, zameen meri, asma mera. If you are mine, O Allah, everything is mine. The heavens are mine, the earth is mine. Ek tu nahi mera to koi shay nahi. And if you are not mine, nothing is mine. We make effort to get big properties, businesses, bank balances. But if we make effort to get Allah, we have got everything. Mahmud Ghaznavi, Rahmatullah Ali, was a very pious and a very just and great king in the Afghanistan area of today. He had a slave by the name of Ayaz. Ayaz had great qualities in him, plenty qualities. There is not this time to discuss all of them. One particular aspect we will discuss now. The king loved him very much and made him his favorite and special. And this is natural. Whenever somebody has got some blessing on him, others become jealous of that person. So the other courtiers became jealous of Mahmud. And they told the king, what kind of a person? He was an ordinary slave on the street. And it is you lowering yourself by making such a man your close friend and your favorite. The king said, you don't know who is Mahmud, I'll show you. So one day in the courtroom, the big hall, the king spread out a lot of his precious stones, diamonds, gold, silver, everything is spread out. And he made an announcement that whoever puts his hand on whatever today, it will be his. So all the ministers, all who were in the courtiers, went pell-mell. They're running this side, that side, try and take as much as they can. But Mahmud stood still. He didn't do anything. The king said, Mahmud, haven't you heard my announcement? He said, what is your announcement, king? He said, my announcement that whoever will put his hand on what today, it is his. And you standing still? He said, king, are you sure? He said, yes, I'm sure. This is my word. I'm the king. I won't go back on my word. So he walked up and he put his hand on the shoulder of the king. He said, if you are mine, then what you put today is a small fraction of what you got. Everything is mine if you are mine. So that person is a wise person who makes effort to get Allah. That King Mahmud, mashallah, how much he got. But compared to Allah, it's not even zero what he's got. Allah has got it. Allah's hands is the whole of dunya, is akhirat also. Our Shaykh Rahmatullah Ali used to say, if you made lot of dua and you asked for Allah of everything, you went for Hajj, Arafat, you asked everything from Allah. But if you did not ask of Allah, Allah Himself, you asked for nothing. And if you asked for nothing from Allah, but you asked Allah, Allah, I want Allah, you asked for everything. कोई मुझसे पूछता है मैं क्या मांगता हूँ मैं अपने खुदा से खुदा मांगता हूँ वो हो जाए मेरा मैं हो जाऊँ उसका यही रात दिन मैं दुआ मांगता हूँ अता कर दे वो मुझे अपनी मोहब्बत मैं उसके सिवा और कुछ नहीं मांगता हूँ है नाराज़गी जिसकी दोज़ख से बढ़कर उसी ज़ात की बस रिदा मांगता हूँ असल मुझे दुनिया की ख्वाहिश नहीं मैं बख्शिश पर रोज़े जज़ा मांगता हूँ. So a person who asks of Allah, Allah Ta'ala, that is the important thing. We must get Allah Ta'ala. So in this poem, just for those who perhaps don't understand Urdu, that the poet, the Arif, the great wali of Allah says, somebody asked me, what are you making dua? Everyone is making different dua. And sometimes friends discuss also, what dua you make, how you make dua. He says, my dua, I ask Allah, I must get Allah. I must get the love of Allah Ta'ala. And on the day of Qiyamah, I must get forgiveness. Dunya, I don't have desire of dunya. Dunya is like a bubble on the water. How long does a bubble last? And a bubble, when the lights shine on it, you see beautiful colors in it. Purple, red, orange, it looks very beautiful. So this dunya's life looks beautiful. This property, that investment, woman, traveling, clothes, food, whatever, all these things. But how long does the bubble last? Lutfe dunya ke hai kei din ke liye. For how long is the enjoyment of this dunya? Na kho jannat ke maze unke liye. Don't trade in jannat and give away your jannat for the temporary gain of this dunya. Ye kya e dil, to bas phir you samajh. If you have done this, then understand what you have done. Tune nada gul diye tin ke liye. Oh, ignorant, stupid person, you gave away a rose for a thorn. Like if a little child found his father's safe is open and there was a diamond shining. Children like shining things. The father, the small child, 4 or 5 years old, he took the diamond and he's playing with it outside on the street. The ice cream vendor going past, he said, oh, this boy got a diamond in him. He tell that boy, give me that diamond, I will give you one ice cream. The boy doesn't know the value of the diamond. Ice cream, he knows the value. So he'll be too happy to give the diamond and to get the ice cream. But the child doesn't know in that diamond how many ice cream factories there are. So much. So we giving away our jannat for the sake of this dunya. A person who listens to the music of this dunya, he'll be deprived from the music on the day of jannat. And what will be in jannat? What won't be that music? It comes in the hadith, when people will be in their places, all they got their palaces, all are settled in Jannah. all the ni'mats they have got. Then Allah will call a day when He will invite all the people to Him. And then there, Allah will first tell them that you didn't listen to music in the dunya. And we should be careful that on our cell phone, mobile, the musical tone that we got as a ringtone, every time we're listening to music, it is very dangerous. This music, yumbitun nifaq, it causes hypocrisy, nifaq to come into the heart. So we should be very careful. Wherever we are, try and avoid. Workplace, on the phone, they put you on hold. It's not in your control. Many times music is playing while you are waiting. But we should avoid music as much as we can. Totally, what is in our control, totally avoid it. What is not in our control, there also avoid it as much as possible. Anyway, those people who did not listen to music, Allah Ta'ala will call the hurs of Jannah to sing. And then Allah will ask them, did you hear singing like this and music like this? Never we heard. They will go out of their senses. How? And by the singing of the hurul ain of Jannah, the doorbells of Jannah, and the leaves of the trees of Jannah will join in chorus with their singing. And a person will, like he's going mind, a man, like Allama Sayyid Sulaiman Nadwi rahmatullah alayh, the first time he made zikr in the Khanqa of Molana rahmatullah alayh. What happened to him? What a trance he went into. And a great Allama, Mufassir of the Quran, he says that, Naam lete hi nasha sa cha gaya. Just as I took the name of Allah, I went into a trance. Zikr mein ta'athir dor jam. In making the zikr of Allah, those people who are drinking liquor in the tavern, in the bar, and they are pouring in their glass from the bottle and they're passing it around and they think they're out of this world, they're drowning their sorrows in there. What they know, what is the enjoyment of zikr of Allah Ta'ala. Lutfe zikr Allah, Allah, or kya athar aah. This is the enjoyment of zikr and the enjoyment of crying to Allah Ta'ala in dua at tahajjud time. Hey, that people who get that enjoyment, this dunya's things are nothing whatsoever. So anyway, those people who enjoy the zikr when they hear the hurul, then people, Allah will ask them, did you hear music like this? No, we never heard, Ya Allah. Then Allah will say, come, let me give you even more better music. Allah will call Dawood alayhi salatu wassalam, sit on the mimbar and make tilawat of Torah. And Allah, but the most sweetest voice Allah gave was to Dawood alayhi salam, when he will start reading the Torah and the enjoyment the people will get. And this is also, like for example, today it is common, like I'm giving bayan now on Deen, we are sitting, we are listening. But if we were to make announcement, Molana put there today on soccer bayan today. See all the youngsters who should be here. All should be here to listen. Or bayan that Molana going to give bayan, he's a finance advisor. He will teach you how to become rich overnight. There should be no place left in the masjid. Full. And all these finance advisors are big liars. If they know how to make you rich, they should become rich first. They shouldn't worry to come and tell you. They should become rich themselves. All just pranks, and we fall for all these hoax stories of this. So anyway, those who have the love of Allah, and they will hear the hurul ain who will sing the tamjeed and the tahmeed and the tahleel of Allah, they will get the enjoyment. Those people who enjoy, who made connection with Allah, and they will hear the subject matter of Torah on the tongue of Dawood alayhi salam, they'll go like mad with that enjoyment. After that, Allah will ask, did you ever hear music like this? No, we never heard, Ya Allah. Then Allah Himself will recite Quran. And by the recitation of Allah, today we hear Sheikh Abdul Basit Abdul Samad. He's a legend in Qiraat. We don't understand Arabic, but when he reads, Allahu Akbar. One time, Jamal Abdul Nasser was going to Russia for political work, government political work. He told Sheikh Abdul Basit, Abdul Samad Abdul Basit Marhum, you have to come with me also. So Sheikh Abdul Samad Abdul Basit said, I was wondering, I'm going there, atheists there, they don't believe in Allah. What must I go read Quran? If it was some Muslim country, Muslims should listen, they should appreciate. But the king's orders, the prime minister's orders, president, so he got ready, they went. Then when they sat in the parliament, and before they started their discussion, so Jamal Abdul Nasser said, first I want one person to recite something. And when he started reciting Quran, and when he opened his eyes, all those atheists, they don't understand Arabic, they're not Muslims, they got no interest in Islam, but tears were flowing from their eyes. This is Kalamullah. When Allah will recite on the day of Qiyamah, what enjoyment. But those who listen to music in this dunya will be deprived of that. They won't get that. In the same way, those who don't keep their eyes safe from looking at other women, it must not happen we get permanently deprived of the hurul ain. Little temporary benefit of looking on internet, all filth and dirt. On the road, the naked, filthy, dirty woman we look at, and we get deprived of hurul ain. And in Jannah, no old age will come to a person. In Jannah, no, you need no Viagra to keep you also strong and going. In Jannah, you don't have to worry of staying young also. Forever and ever will be there. So don't trade in the enjoyment of this of Jannah for the sake of dunya. So may Allah let us understand. So anyway, so sunnat, by practicing on sunnat, we will get Jannat also. Practicing on sunnat now, cash in this world, Allah will be with us also. And if you got Allah, you have got everything. So one sunnat that I will mention that we should try and practice is in the morning when we step out of our home, we should read this dua when stepping out. Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Not difficult. Which Muslim doesn't know Bismillah? We all know Bismillah. Tawakkaltu ala Allah, all know. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, all know. 3 duas we read. Bismillah, tawakkaltu ala Allah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. The minute you read this, immediately Allah sends a farishta, an angel by you. And that angel, he gives you 3 duas in return. What are the 3 duas that he gives you? The first dua he gives you, wuqita. You got your security and protection for the day. Today, anything, anywhere, first on the agenda, security. We have to have proper security. We know all the dangers. You are going on the road, traffic, accidents can happen, heart attack, whatever can happen, robberies, crime can happen. We tried a lot, but our security didn't help us, our planning. Crime is just increasing in the world. With the farishta angel giving you dua, 100% your security is guaranteed. So just by reading that first, you got your security, which is a major worry of it. The second dua he gives, kufita. Your needs for the day are satisfied. Why a person leaves his house? Because of his needs. I have to buy food, I have to pay rental, I have to see to my family, all whatever our needs. When the farishta gives you your dua, the dua that your needs will be satisfied, there's no doubt. Your needs will be satisfied. And the third is the most important dua, hudita. Your hidayat for the day has been guaranteed. Today is a day we're just losing our iman. Temptation, it comes in the hadith, a time will come, a person in the morning will be a mu'min, by the night he will have lost his iman. A person will be a night a mu'min, by the morning he's out of the fold of Islam. So when the farishta gives you your dua, you got your hidayat, you got no problem. And today our problem also is there. More than ours, our youngsters who are going schools, universities, at the workplace, the temptations and the fitnas that are there in various forms. Shias, how lot effort they're making. Qadianis, how lot effort. All other people making so lot of effort. So teach, we practice ourselves, teach our children. So 3 worldly benefits we will get. Then the other benefits, a person who makes amal on sunnah, 100 shaheed sawab. And this shaheed is also not one shaheed sawab. The person who dies on the battlefield, 1 shaheed sawab. This person gets 100 shaheed sawab. And he doesn't die also. He's still alive. Make amal again on another sunnah, another 100 shaheed sawab. It is the zikr of Allah also. MashaAllah. But one other sahabi saw that wherever he is, he sits, farishtas are making dua there around him. Gets up, farishtas. Goes out of the door, farishtas making dua. Comes in the house, everywhere. So how you got this everywhere? I see farishtas are what you making dua for you. You say you also can get it. You say, how can I get that also? Say Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran Sharif, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu dhkurullaha dhikran kathira wa sabbihuhu bukratan wa asila yusalli alaykumul malaika. You make the zikr of Allah morning and evening, every occasion. The malaika will be making dua for you. If you got the farishtas there. So all the duas of the various occasions from morning till night, if we read it, then we'll get the dua of the farishtas all the time. So just by reading this dua, and to read this dua, your throat won't get dry. You don't have to tell your wife, put a bucket of water by the door. In the morning I have to read this dua, Bismillah tawakkaltu ala Allah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. My throat gets dry. So simple. You don't even have to put a board to learn it. It's so, everyone knows Bismillah tawakkaltu ala Allah, la hawla wa la quwwata. So try and make amal on every sunnah. What we have learned now, go home and tell the family also. Tell everyone, whenever anyone in the house we go out, we all must read this dua. And tell your friends also. If you tell 10 friends, our Sheikh showed us this, that what you hear, go and tell 10 people, yours will become strong. We are not small children who are going to school and we take our books and we are studying. Tomorrow is exam and that. We can't do that. We are past that age. But by telling 10 people, then yours will become strong. And if you tell your wife, then she will ask you, you read the dua. Right? Anyone else, your sheikh, your friend, anyone will be shy to ask you, you read dua, but your wife won't be shy. She will ask you, yesterday you giving me big lecture. And you, like all the muftis in the world died, you're the only mufti left. The way you giving me bayan and lecture all the time. But you read the dua. The children even more than the mother. Children will tell Abu, you told us so much to read dua, you read the dua. So if we will tell them, we will make amal. May Allah give us tawfiq, inshallah. The ayat of the Quran Sharif I read, we all know the Surah Tabarakalladhi, 29 Supara. And the Surah has got so much fazilah. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, there is a Surah in the Quran Sharif, and it's my heart's desire that Surah must be in the heart of every believer. The same Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said for Yasin Sharif also, for Tabarakalladhi also. And one hadith, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, there are 30 ayats in that surah, and I would love that every believer must have it in his heart. In here, what a psychological way Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam presented. There are 30 days in the month. So every day just learn one ayat only. In 30 days you know the whole surah. And a Hafiz boy have to do repeat also. So every night repeat it also. So you don't have to put any effort just to learn one ayat a day. And in 1 month you'll know the whole surah. And you are repeating it every night. You won't forget also. A person who reads Surah Tabarakalladhi and Alif Lam Mim Sajda between Maghrib and Isha, he gets the sawab of ibadat of Laylatul Qadr. Right? Laylatul Qadr, we don't know for sure which is the night. Is it 21, 23, 25? Which night? But yeah, the whole year you can get the sawab of Laylatul Qadr. And if we learn it off by heart, I guarantee you, instead of talking all other dunya talks, from the masjid till where the car is parked, and we are reading with the Tabarakalladhi, we'll have read it finished. And we drive home, by the time we reach home, Alif Lam Mim Sajda is finished. Today, whole world got a complaint, no time, too busy. No time. So if you learn it off by heart, then without giving time, your work will be done. And every night we can get the sawab of Laylatul Qadr. May Allah let us understand. If I had to give some wazifa now, that how every person can get 10,000 shillings every night. Everyone should take out a pen and paper and note it down. Put the phone on, record it. Then this we have to do. But what is 10,000? What is 10 million shillings? Nothing in front of what Allah Ta'ala, what we will get forever and ever. So may Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq. The surah starts off with Tabarakalladhi. Ba barakat hai wo zat. Blessed is that be. Barakat is by Allah. We look for barakat in our shops. We look for barakat in our business. But barakat is by Allah. When the muazzin says, Hayya ala al-falah, come to success. Falah, the word falah, success. In Arabic is a very rich language that has got very many words for one meaning of it. There is falah, there is fawz, there is so many. But falah, Imam Raghib Asfahani rahmatullah alayh, great alim, says in his famous kitab Mufradatul Quran that falah comprises all types of success. Dunyas, akhirat, health-wise, economic-wise, in your house, all types of success is in the word falah. So Allah is calling for success, for every type of success. But we see with our eyes, success is in the shop. I can't go now. Fajr time, the Imam Muazzin says, Hayya ala al-falah, as-salatu khayrun min al-nawm. And we feel that al-nawm khayrun min al-salah. That to sleep is more better than namaz. But so our barakat that we want is by Allah Ta'ala. So look for it where it is. There was a very poor man who only had one gold coin, nothing else here. He lost his gold coin in his tent shanty, little jhompri he had. So, and no lights in his tent shanty. So he went and looked for the gold coin on the road under the street lamp with bright light. Now he can't find it there, it's not there. So his friend was going past, he asked him, what's wrong? He said, I lost my gold coin. So he said, he had a feeling, a poor man got nothing else, only let me help him to look for it. He also looked. Then which is common, where you lost it? He said, I lost it in my tent shanty. So if you lost it there, why are you looking for it here? He said, in my tent shanty I got no light. Here is a bright light, so I'm looking for it here. So today we lost our peace of mind, our security, our izzat, our honor by not practicing on Islam. And where are we looking for? In nightclubs. Where are we looking for it? On porn websites. Where are we looking for our happiness? Looking at filthy, dirty women. In dunya's things. It's not there. Jahan nahi hai, you can look for it till the cows go home. You can't find it there. Look for it where it is and you will find it. Sayyidina Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said, نَحْنُ قَوْمٌ أَعَزَّنَا اللَّهُ بِالْإِسْلَامِ. We are a nation who Allah gave our izzat in Islam. Our izzat is not in big buildings. Our izzat is not in big motor cars, making big weddings. Our izzat in Islam. فَإِن نَطْلُبُ الْعِزَّ فِي غَيْرِ الْإِسْلَامِ أَزَلَّنَا اللَّهُ. And if we look for our izzat in anything else besides Islam, Allah will disgrace us. Today, the amount of money Muslims got in the world, the amount of properties Muslim got, the black gold, oil, mostly it is in the hands of the Muslims. But how are the Muslims treated in the world? Because we haven't got Islam. We can have big houses, we can have everything. People will look up with jealousy to us. They will look up with hatred to us, that you people getting, you won't have respect and honor. That Allah has kept in Islam. How much of Deen we got in our lives, that is how Allah will make us successful. Abu Saud is a friend of ours, an Arab, in San Diego, Argentina. He is an old man, about my age perhaps, a little younger than mine, maybe 50, 60, round about that. He says that his father told him, he's actually Saudi originally, but they were in Jordan, Palestine. And when Israel took them out, like many times they took out the Arabs and sent them to South America, is the dumping ground where they send the Arabs there. So at that time, Sharon, he was a young man, he was an army general, and he spoke good Arabic also. His father says, Sharon told us that this land belongs to you, and you will come back to this land. It's your land, but you won't come back today, you won't come back tomorrow. You will come back when your masjids get full for Fajr. How they get full for Jummah, then we won't even fight you. This land is yours. Palestine is yours. Baytul Muqaddas. But it will come when you got Deen. But we are looking for it in all other things. When Deen will come in our lives. Today we know Fajr, what is our Jamaat? Jummah, the whole masjid is full. We have to increase, make our masjid bigger. A lot of people coming for Jummah. But Fajr, no one. Asr, no one. Very few people. So this is where if we can understand Deen come in our life, barakat will come with us. One person, elderly man in a village, he haven't got Deen also in his life. He was dying, passing away. He made wasiyat, his bequest. And in that he had 19 camels. So now you'll have to use your brains a little bit, help me to solve the problem. He said, half of my camels, 19, must be given to my wife. How much is the half of 19?
9.5.
9.5. Then he said, a quarter must be given to my son. Quarter of 19. Now we got problems. 4 3/4. So that must be given to my son. I'm also the same, but because I always give this example, so I know it. Then he said 1/5, 20% must be given to my daughter. Now even more bigger problem. What is 1/5? So it is 4,7 or something like that. Must be given. But he put a big problem in between. You mustn't cut any camel. No fraction. All his shares got fractions in it. But he said you mustn't make any fraction. You must give whole camels. Now the people are sitting 6 months. It's not according to Sharia, just an example. Though they're sitting, they can't solve the problem. After 6 months, one Molana was going there. So they say, Molana, please help us. We got a big problem. Molana said, I got no time. I have to go give bayan, call people towards Allah. Let them be obedient to Allah. They say, Molana is a Deeni problem. It's miras, inheritance masala. Oh, then I got time for that. No problem. Let us sit. What's the problem? This man died, he had 19 camels. He said half to the wife, 9.5. Quarter to the son, 4 3/4. And 1/5 to the daughter, 4,7, something like that. But he said, you mustn't. He said, why are you wasting my time? It's no problem. He said, Molana, 6 months, our big accountants, CAs, all are sitting. They can't solve it. Well, you please, Molana, help us. He said, it's no problem. Why, Molana? So he said, take my camel, put it in. Now how many? 20. Half of 20? 10. For us also is easy now. And quarter of 20? 5. 10 plus 5? 15. And 1/5 of 20? 4. 15 plus 4? 19. And he took his camel anyway. They all got more also. The wife was supposed to get 9.5, she got 10. The son was supposed to get 4 3/4, he got 5. Daughter was supposed to get 4 7, she got 3.7, she got 4. All got more, he took his camel. The Islam barakah. That to give, there is barakah. Molana put his camel in there. Barakah. Dal zer de, lam zer le ka sabak, we all learnt it properly. Lena. Lekin dal zer de, dene ka sabak, that we don't know. So there is barakat in the giving. So Allah's hand, you make your connection with Allah, make your 5 times namaz. Tilawat of Quran Sharif. Zikrullah. Wallah, I say you will see barakat coming to your life. Your health barakat. Wallah, I say, your love with your wife, barakat in there. Allah will give you, if you bring Deen into your life, with Islam, with Allah's commands, there is barakat. Not in universities, not in the shopping malls, not out in the sports grounds. Barakat is in the Deen. Masjid, there is barakat. We got no time for the masjid. Last we come and first we want to go away. How much a person will spend time in the masjid and with Deen, Allah will give so much barakat to in your health, in your life, in your money, in everything. Allah Ta'ala will give barakat. So barakat is here. So Allah Ta'ala, Tabarakalladhi biyadihil mulk, when the whole sovereignty, the whole world, the universe is so to say in the hands of Allah. Allah haven't got a hand like ours, but it means fully in the control. If you make ta'alluq from Allah with Allah, Allah will give you from there. And Allah will give you, which you can, haythu la yahtasib, where you cannot imagine. And Allah will give you so much will be difficult for you to handle. Allah, but just imagine one incident. One Sahabi came to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and he said, I've got poverty, I haven't got money, difficulty to earn for my family. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam advised him, whenever you enter your house, make salam. Loudly and cheerfully, happily make salam. And then softly, just under your breath, read Surah Ikhlas and read Durood Sharif. It doesn't take long. They did it. After a few days, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam met him. How is it going? I say, Alhamdulillah, Allah has given me so much now that I'm spending on my neighbors also. I'm spending on my relatives also. In a few days, Wallah, with salam, assalamu alaikum, wa rahmatullah, Allah, wa barakatuhu. Our Shaykh Jazahumullah says that in as-salam is singular according to grammar. Wa rahmatullah is singular. Barakatuhu is plural. Allah knows our mizaj, we like barakat. Lord, barakat must come. So Allah put in our salam barakatuhu, lot of barakat for you. So just by having connection with Allah, we will say hawlat barakat. So tabarakalladhi biyadihil mulk, that the whole sovereignty is in the hands of Allah Ta'ala. If a person just thinks the qudrat of Allah, how great it is. A few examples I will give. See, the world, we all know it's a round ball, little oval shape, between a soccer ball and a rugby ball. And the world is like that. Now this world, and how lot of mountains in the world. 3/4 of the world, 70% is water. And water is extremely heavy. And ajib, insan's body also, 70% is water. Everything Allah created from water. So anyway, this one glass of water we handle, we don't know what is the weight. But if you have to carry, Haji Sahib goes for Hajj, there he doesn't drink Zamzam. There he drinks black Zamzam, Pepsi, Coke, all other things he drinks. But when he's coming back Nairobi, 2 big 20 liters of Zamzam. Now when Haji Sahib have to carry it, now they don't, we put it in the hole, but if you have to carry it up, now Haji Sahib is looking this side, that side, somebody else from Nairobi, Mombasa, will see me and he will help me. Nobody, Haji Sahib is suffering to carry it up. Then you realize the weight. And there, we also see, oh, Haji Sahib is from Nairobi, we know him, but if I just make salam, I'll have to help him. So we look the other side, we look down, we don't see him. And when is some woman there, some haram woman to look, then we look properly. Where we had to look down, there we look properly. And where we had to look and make Haji Sahib salam, help him also, there we don't look also. Anyway, then if we know 70% of the world water, what is the weight? The mountains and the rocks in the mountains. How many trucks, how many ships, how much of cargo they are carrying, containers, and what is the weight? We can't imagine the weight of the world, how great it is. And where is the world? Just suspended, not in air, in space. If I have a table tennis ball or a feather in my fingers and I leave it, so light it is, but it won't stay up. It will fall down. And this whole world, those of us who studied little astronomy in school or perhaps university, or we saw books, etc., we will know that the whole world is just suspended in space, nothing to hold it up. Which our Shaykh explained, and Mir Sahib, Hazrat Khadim, put it in beautiful poetic form. Ardo sama kaise hai muallaq. The earth and even the skies, how they are just suspended in space. Koi sutoon hai na koi tham. There are no columns that are keeping it up. This roof of the masjid here, because of the 4 walls, the roof is resting on them. If you take away the 4 walls, the roof will collapse. But the earth, nothing to hold it up. The sky, nothing to hold it up. Just like that. Ardo sama kaise hai koi muallaq, koi sutoon hai na koi tham. Sare alam be kalam. And not only the earth and the skies, all the other celestial bodies, the sun, the moon, Pluto, Venus, all them, they are just suspended in sky. Wahre mere Rabbul Alam, Wahre mere Rabbul Alam. Oh my Allah, how great is not your qudrat that you just suspended it in space like this. Allahu Akbar. This earth which is round, and the people who are on top, it's quite understood, the legs are at the bottom, the head is on top. They are walking, the cars are moving, wheels at the bottom, buses, trains, everything. But at the bottom, Cape Town, Australia, South America, so where are the legs now? On top. And the head is at the bottom. But did anyone see anywhere? It came on TV today, you must watch that program. You'll see in Cape Town, all are walking upside down. In South America, all are walking, never ever. Allah's qudrat, the reality is, you think for yourself, the earth is a round ball. Those who are at the bottom, the legs are on top. But we don't see it. This is Allah. For Allah, there is nothing impossible. Molana Rumi rahmatullah alayhi explains this. The part of the eye that sees, the eye is fantastic, Allah's qudrat, unimaginable. But we don't see the eyes to see, but we don't see the qudrat of Allah. We see filthy, dirty woman. We see how to make haram money. We see all other things, but we don't see it. The eye is to see Allah. Allah gave us. So this eye, anyway, of all the things what are in the eye, the cornea, and how many things, the pupil, the middle part, that is the part that sees. We say somebody got brown eyes, somebody got green eyes, somebody got gray eyes. That is all what is around the pupil, putla. But the black part, the pupil, that is the part of the eye that sees. So Allah put seeing light in blackness. This is Allah's qudrat. So the people who are at the bottom walking upside down, Allah made it, we don't see it upside down. But the reality, and those who are on the sides, their legs are sideways, they're all walking sideways and dead. But what is Allah's qudrat? Allahu Akbar. Then if a person considers water, this water, if I have to turn the glass around completely, all the water will fall out. At the bottom it's not falling out, there is glass at the bottom. So the sea at the bottom, Cape Town and that side, there is sea at the bottom of the earth. And whenever we went to the sea, to the beach, we ever saw that there is some plastic around it or glass or something, nothing, just like that. But there, one drop of water fall out. From this glass, I turn it around, not one drop will stay in the glass. But from the whole huge sea, not one drop of water will fall out. Whose qudrat it is that is keeping it up? One person who had a scientific mind, he told Molana, who made this bayan like this, he said, Molana, it isn't all the qudrat of Allah, it is atmospheric pressure and magnetic forces. So Molana was Allah wala, he had a walking stick, he took the walking stick, he gave one shot of his head. He said, that's the problem with you Molanas, you can't give us answers, you haven't got answers, you don't know science. We study university, we have got science and that, you can't give us answers, and now you hit us. Molana said, I didn't hit you. He said, Molana, on top of it, you're lying also. Big amama you got, big beard, big kurta, and you're lying, you hit me now. So he said, no, I didn't hit you. He said, then what happened? Molana said, all that happened is the magnet in your head pulled the magnet in the stick. So the stick came and fell on your head like that. And you must make lot of shukr that your magnet in your head, your brains are very small. If you should have a big magnet, it should pull that stick with so much force, your head should split and break also. Then he realized it's not all magnetic force, and even if it is also created by Allah. That asbab Allah Ta'ala has made. So water is a thing that just flows all the time. You can't stop water. Water flows. When floods come, governments with all the things they try and divert, they try and control. Dams they don't open them. Once water flows, whatever comes in front of it, it just destroys it. So water at the top of the world, it's flowing down. The waves are coming. We can understand that. But the water at the bottom, water doesn't come from the bottom upwards. But go to the south of the world, water is coming up there also. And also, Allahu Akbar. We go to the beach, but see Allah there. Don't just go and see the beach and go and have a holiday. See the qudrat of Allah. The waves that are coming anywhere in the world, whose power? They come sometimes high tide, sometimes the tsunami. It comes and it hits on and it goes back. Water is not a thing that will go back. When it comes, if it was, it should come like, for example, top of the world, Alexandria, Cairo, in Africa. The whole of Africa should get covered in water. Whose qudrat is it that the waves hit with force onto the shore, and like a dog with its tail between its legs, the water goes back again. In the bottom, water doesn't come upwards, but Cape Town, all the bottom countries, cities, water comes up and it goes away. What is the sea, the qudrat of Allah Ta'ala? Allahu Akbar. We cannot imagine the qudrat of Allah. For example, we are all sitting here. Think about ourselves. وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. Allah says, why don't you look in yourself? The greatest proof of the existence of Allah, of the qudrat and power of Allah, is you yourself, O insan. Allah, to see Allah, you don't have to look out of you. Look in you and you will see Allah. For example, I'll just give 2 examples. This elbow joint we got. There are 360 joints in the body. If I have to give bayan on every joint, I need 360 days. So just one joint, this elbow joint. If it wasn't here, if the hand was straight, all these joints are perfect. No arthritis, no gout, no bimari. I take the food in my fingers, but this joint is not here. Try your best to bring your fingers to your mouth, or take your mouth to your fingers. You can try till the cows go home, you won't succeed. If you're thinking I'm making drama, I'm just bluffing you, then you can try it out now if you are not shy. If you are shy, then go home and do it. But don't do it in front of the wife. The wife will say, what happened to my husband? He's doing this all the time. Yeah, this. Which Molana can he make jadoo on my husband? What's this? My husband just doing just like this all the time. Go in the bathroom and lock the bathroom. Maybe she comes in and she sees you. And put the light off. Maybe she peeps from somewhere and she sees you doing this. He's taking so long. Why is not coming out of the bathroom? And you busy doing this all the time. So they try till the morning, Fajr time. You won't be able to bring. Who is it that gave us this one joint and we eat in comfort? If we did not have the joint, I should have to feed you, you should have to feed me. I have to feed my wife have to feed me. And a person, like for example, if it's itching you somewhere, sometimes you tell the wife also, scratch me here, it's itching me here. But nobody can scratch you how you can do it yourself. That itch moves from here to there. It's going little up. Now it's a bit more. Now it's a bit less. Put more pressure. Only you can scratch yourself properly. So eating also, how you want to. You want little potato, you want little rice, you want little achar in there, whatever. You eat your hand. Do we ever make shukr to Allah? Once one family member of ours, he passed away, Allah give all our marhumin jannah. He was in hospital, I went to visit him. When I went, I just came to the door of the ward. So his young son, married young man, he ran to me. He said, Molana, my father today, first time he ate with his own hands. When we are sick, sometimes it trips on you. Other people have to feed you. We don't appreciate, we eat ourselves. Some of us had our supper, some of us going to have. All the time we eating with our own, as we want to, we eat. We ever made shukr, we ever acknowledge Allah's qudr. We think I'm doing it. When Allah will take out the ruh, what can you do? You can't pick up your hand, you can't take one niwala, one morsel of rice and put in, you can't do anything. When I went to him by his bed, he was lying with his legs stretched out. He lifted his right leg little bit. He said, Molana, today first time I can lift my leg. We came all walking to the masjid. We came in our cars, we drove, and we used our legs, we used our hands, our eyes, our brains we used. But did we even acknowledge Allah, you gave me all this now? To make shukr is out of the question. We don't make shukr. Shukr is such a great ibadah. And this is what is called to make contact with Ahlullah. They will teach us that we see Allah. We see the qudrat of Allah. And then we'll make shukr to Allah Ta'ala. And any person who makes shukr, how happy. If your wife appreciates. How many husbands tell the wife and the children, I'm working for you people's sake. I don't need all this in my life. But you people don't appreciate. The wife says, what I don't do for you, but you don't appreciate one thing also. Dr. Abdul Arifi Rahmatullahi was a very great buzurg. He was a doctor. But by contact with Allah, Molana Thanwi became a great buzurg, like a big Molana. And he wrote how many kitabs also, very authentic kitabs. Anyway, once he was invited for meals by one of his murids. After the meals from Parda, he thanked the house lady, Jazakallah, it was very nice you cooked, I appreciate it, Allah reward you, Allah give you, he gave her du'as, he went away. She started crying, profusely, lot she was crying. Husband asked, what's wrong, why are you crying? Molana didn't swear you, he didn't criticize you, he didn't give you bad dua, he praised you, he gave you dua, why are you crying? She said, 40 years I'm cooking for you. Not one day you told me Jazakallah. Not one day you told me your food is nice. And we think for ourselves, this is our condition. Yeah, you found a lot of fault in my food. Today salt is too much. Today you burn the food. Today it's hot. Today it's cold. You found a lot of fault. See, Molana, one meal. So, wallah, I say, how she appreciated. If we can also become and we tell our wives that, how much they won't be happy. A woman's stomach doesn't get full with food. When you just tell them, Jazakallah, you cook so nice, she gets so happy with that. And otherwise, we don't appreciate anything what she does. So anyway, the next day, now he learnt his lesson. So they were sitting for lunch. And he started, Jazakallah, very nice food, I appreciate it. Again, she started crying. And remember what a woman is a no-win situation. You can't please them. They always got a problem. So anyway, and they say the same about us, that the men, you can never make them happy. Whatever you do, they got some other problem. They got too much vibes. So anyway, so he was praising her again. She cried. He asked, now why are you crying? She said, 40 years I'm cooking for you. Not one day you told me Jazakallah. Not one day you appreciated. Today when the neighbor's wife sent food, you can't stop. You're just going on and you're praising the food. So this is our condition. We don't acknowledge, we don't appreciate. So Allah Ta'ala biyadihil mulk wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. In the small sentence, not only the sovereignty of the world, yourself. If we look at the animal kingdom, we look at the bee, look at the ant, Allah Akbar. What is Allah's qudra? Today we don't explore all that. We go for holidays, we go in the national parks, we see the animals. Our Sheikh Rahmatullah Ali, when he came to South Africa, people took him to the national park. So he said, I'm not going to see the animals there, I'm going to see Allah. The qudrat of Allah Ta'ala. So to see Allah Ta'ala. So وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٍ الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ. Allah is that being thing who created maut. And Allah is the one who created life. Our life is not just that it came about. My father and mother met and I got born. My father doesn't know how to make one eye. I as a father, I don't know how to make one nose, how to make one nail. Where can I make a baby? This was just the husband and wife met. But it is Allah's qudra. And that also is ajib and fascinating how Allah created insan. Just feel I have to say this little bit, time is running out. A Canadian doctor, non-Muslim at that time, he wrote a book on the formation of the child in the womb of the mother. How a child is formed, everything, everything in detail. Then he appealed to the people of the world. If anyone can give us more information, but not from medical science. He said that knowledge we got. The scans and sonars and x-rays, all that we have got. But from any other source, a Malaysian doctor, Muslim doctor, wrote to him the ayats of the Quran, that how Allah has created the human being. When he read all those ayats, he got a shock. And he said that 1400 years ago, when there wasn't the word university, forget university, there wasn't the word x-ray machine and scans and all gynecology, there was nothing. And so perfectly and correctly to describe how a human is formed, it can be nobody else's work but the work of Allah. He became a Muslim, and his book till today in many medical universities is taught till today in the medical universities. So Allah's qudrat is so great. So Allah is the one who created a thing like maut, death. And death is such a thing, all the world's philosophers, doctors, scientists can get together and stop somebody from dying. The Quran Sharif says, حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَتِ التَّرَاقِيَ وَقِيلَ مَنْ رَاقٍ. When your ruh comes out and it's here by your throat now, and all your children, your wife, all are crying, who can save my father? Who can save my child? Oh Allah, please save him. Call the doctors, call the amils, let him make some ta'weez, etc. Nobody can save that person. حَتَّى إِذَا بَلَغَتِ التَّرَاقِيَ وَقِيلَ مَنْ رَاقٍ وَظَنَّ أَنَّهُ الْفِرَاقِ. And they have yaqeen, now is the time, he's gone, he's going, he's leaving us. وَالْتَفَّتِ السَّاقُ بِالسَّاقِ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ يَوْمَئِذٍ الْمَسَاقِ. And then you are rubbing your hands, your legs, that, oh, somebody can help my father, somebody can help my wife. Nobody can help. There is a time, nobody can stop death. Allah creates death. And only by Allah's hukam can death. How many people tried to commit suicide? But what wasn't written, they couldn't. In the Guinness Book of Records, there is one record of a couple who wanted to marry, they couldn't marry. The families didn't allow them. 28 times they tried to commit suicide. Jumping from buildings, lying in front of on the railway line. But till maut is not written, you can't die. Maut is not in committing suicide. One person wanted to commit suicide, lot of problems. So he lay on the railway line. But he had a picnic basket all with food. So his friend said, you want to commit suicide? What's this food for? He says that if I get hungry, your father will give me food. He can't tolerate hunger, but he wants to die. This is our condition. So anyway, maut is in Allah's hands. Alladhi khalaqal maut wal hayat. Life also is only by Allah. If your child, the gynecologist, how many cases we had? The mother, father phone, okay, they said that, the doctors say, gynecologists say, the child is going to be stillborn, he's going to be deformed. Many times we told them, don't worry, trust in Allah. And alhamdulillah, till today, children are perfect. So it's only in the hands of Allah when the child is born also, whether it's got life or it hasn't got life. But life is in the hands of Allah, death is in the hands of Allah. Yeah, an interesting point is Allah mentioned death before life. And we all know that first life comes, then death comes. Why Allah reversed it? That you are born to die. You are not born to live forever. You are born to die. If we can learn this lesson and take it to heart. And you are born to prepare for life after death. It is like maut is a flashing board all the time in front of you. Remember your maut. जो बशर आता है दुनिया में ये कहती है क़ज़ा मैं भी पीछे चली आती हूँ ज़रा ध्यान रखें. Whoever is born, maut say, I'm just behind you all the time. Go keep me in mind, don't forget me. Don't think you are involved in this guna, in that sin, doing all this. I'm there. And on the time, I will just grab you and I will take you. So this is that a person should, so that's why Allah put maut in front first. And this board of maut is flashing, bright red all the time. One Molana was in South Africa, he passed away, very great alim, very jokey, jolly also. So he says, I see that on the road, many places, Ba is written. And in bright red, it's on red background, white, Ba. And in Urdu, Gujarati, Ba, stay out. But I see everyone just going there. They write there, you must stay out, Bar. Don't go in. But everyone is going in there. So Allah put the board of maut, bright colors that remember, but we don't see. We are missing it all the time. So we are born in order to prepare for us. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. The purpose of life, Allah, who is the creator of life, the giver of life, the controller of life, the taker of life. He says, why? To test you, to see who amongst you are the best in doing amal. Ahsana amala. Who do the best of amal. That is why. Allah didn't create us that we think in Jamaat we make alam ke amal mein Allah ne kamyabi rakhi. But some of us don't pronounce it properly, amal. So what we say, amal. और हमारी कामयाबी जो है वो माल जितना ज़्यादा आएगा हम कामयाब होंगे. तो माल के आने में कामयाबी नहीं है, अमाल में कामयाबी है. हम अपने अंदर अमाल पैदा करें. So Allah has kept our success not in material things, not in amal. Allah has kept it in amal. And then in amal also, Allah has kept our success with qualities. Nowhere in the Quran or in the Hadith, in my little knowledge, you will read that Inna Allah ma'al musallin. That Allah's help is with those who make namaz. Allah's help is with them, but you won't read that. Inna Allah ma'as sa'imin. Those who keep roza, Allah's help. No. Inna Allah la ma'al muttaqeen. Inna Allah ma'al muhsinin. The inside qualities which we don't pay attention. The most, if we want to come on to Deen, we want to change our life, we change our clothing, which is very good. We start making 5 times namaz, which is very good. But the inside qualities that we are not even thinking about it. And that is the department, what we call of the soul, of the khanqa. We should go to these spiritual doctors, that then Allah's help will be. So Allah is testing us, لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ أَعْمَالًا. وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْغَفُورُ. And then if you made mistakes in your life, and you realize I made dunya my object, sports I made my object, music I made my object, womanizing I made my object, dunya, business I made my object, university degrees I made my object, and I made a wrong. I had to prepare for akhirat. That is what I had to prepare. Now you realize it. So Allah Ta'ala says that don't worry, Allah will forgive you. By Allah, see, if we got some haram insurance policy, if we made an accident, Allah save us all. The panel beater say the car is a write-off, beyond repairs, it can't be repaired. The insurance company say beyond repairs. We'll pay you out, we can't repair your car. By Allah, nobody is beyond repairs. You can be at the lowest ebb, you can be the worst person, but the minute Allah picks you up, you will become the king of the awliya. People who are in the lowest, Fuzail ibn Iyas, Malik ibn Dinar, how many other people? They were alcoholics, they were womanizers, they were robbers, highway robbers. But the minute Allah picked them, they became the king of the awliya. So nobody can lose hope in the mercy of Allah Ta'ala. Always turn to Allah Ta'ala. So Allah Ta'ala says, was it? الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن وهو العزيز الغفور. Aziz, the most powerful. But Allah doesn't use His power just to punish you. That power is controlled with Ghafoor. Allah is forgiving also. The example of this our Shaykh should give so beautifully. If the lion is running in the jungle and by mistake it put its leg on the rabbit, and the rabbit say, Mr. Lion, no problem, today I make you maaf. What is the maafi of the rabbit? What can the rabbit do to the lion? Can't do anything. But if the rabbit was running and lion was having a deep sleep, qaylula, siesta, and rabbit put his leg on the lion, and lion caught him, and lion said, Mr. Rabbit, you are not even one samosa for my breakfast. But today I make you maaf, I let you go. How much percent that rabbit appreciated? So Allah, who is so great, what's a lion? All the lions of the world, what is the qudrat of Allah? But Allah said, you made mistakes in your life. You had the wrong direction. Your GPS, your navigator, you put the wrong direction in their destination. But I make you maaf. You are old now, you can't do anything. Now you came to me, I won't turn you away also. Allahu Akbar. Allah's court is such that government offices open 9 to 4, more or less, whatever time. Allah's offices are 24 hours. You phone by Allah, and to phone Allah, you don't need mobile phone, cell phone. You don't have to remember the number also. Just pick up your hands and your connection is made with Allah. And you can phone middle of the night. And Allah didn't keep a secretary to tell you that the boss is not available or the boss is in a meeting. All the time. And when you phone by Allah, you will never get a pre-recorded message. For English, press 1. For Swahili, press 2. No, whatever. And you got no language. You are gunga. You can't speak. Allah will hear you what you are saying. And you are behra, deaf. You can't hear. But when Allah will speak to you, you'll hear it in your heart. Such is our Allah. Where are we leaving Allah? فَأَيْنَ تُؤْفَكُونَ? Where are you turning away and going away to other places? Turn to Allah. So merciful. Allah's qudrat is so great. So read Tabarakalladhi every day between Maghrib and Isha. Read Alif Lam Mim Sajda. Read the dua when we leave and see the great qudrat. And just make your connection with Allah and all that rahmat and wallah, I say, it will pour on you individually. Allah will pour His rahmat. In order to make the connection, you need somebody to make your connection. So that Allah has kept the Ahlullah, the awliya, the mashayikh. They will make your connection. Tanha nahi chal sakoge mohabbat ki raah mein. Main chal raha hu, aap mere saath aaye. You won't be able to walk alone down Lover's Lane, Allah's love road. You can't walk alone. You need somebody to guide you. I am going to Sheikh, you join me. Sahal ho gayi mujhe manzile. To walk to Allah became easy for me. Ke hawa ki rukh bhi badal gayi. That the direction of the wind also changed. When the aeroplane flies from South Africa to Australia, it takes more time. And when it comes back, less time. Same distance. Why? The wind. If the wind is against the aeroplane, it takes more time. When the wind is pushing the aeroplane, it takes less time. So when you make connection with Allah Ta'ala, or the friends of Allah, the awliya, now the wind is blowing behind you, not against you. All the temptations, women, sports, music, all these things here, now you feel it's going away. Sahal ho gayi mujhe manzile, ke hawa ki rukh bhi badal gayi. Tera heart mein aa laga. When your hand came in my hand, I took bay'at. I pledged myself to you. तो चिराग राह के भी जल गए. The lights on the road also now lit up. That road you are walking, not only a dark road, lights also. Flowers on the side also. Streams of water. Now you enjoy walking. Like that it's hard to get up for Fajr. Hard to control the eyes. Hard to control our anger. We speak terrible things. How bad. And afterwards we're sorry. But the minute you make your Islah, you'll say everything becomes not easy, pleasure, enjoyable. To eat anger is haram. But to drink it is faraz. Liquor is haram. To drink it also is haram. But anger is haram, wrong anger. But to drink your anger is faraz. So a person who does this, he will enjoy drinking that haram liquor, that haram anger. So these are the things that we have to make effort for. May Allah give us all tawfiq, inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها فأنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها. وصلى الله على النبي الأمي. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Question answer, you can